everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to play with some new stencils from A Colorful Life Designs. I have a piece of white cardstock. I'm applying it to my 6x6 gel press plate and the TriDots stencil. This is one of the new ones from A Colorful Life Designs. And you can see that I can just press it right onto that gel plate and everything gets held in place. No need for washi tape or anything like that. I have Distress ink in Twisted Citron. I love, love, love this color. Truth be told, there are some other greens on my brush. There might be some Mowed Lawn, some Rustic Wilderness. I use this for all of my shades of green in a dye ink. So there's a little bit of other things happening in here, but overall it is Twisted Citron. Such a great color. I need to get the large pad of this one because I do use it so much. This is the only layer that's going to be using a Distress ink. The other layers will all be oxides. And the reason for this is because inks are dye-based and oxides have a pigment property to them that makes them opaque, whereas the dyes are translucent. So I wanted to make sure that I cover up the TriDots stenciled image where the Eat Cake will wind up being. You'll still see it a bit. It's not completely opaque, but I wanted to kind of dull it out, kind of send it to the background because that's what it is, right? So now I've got my Eat Cake and there's 3 layers to this. This is another good reason that I like to use my 6x6 gel press plate because I know that I'm lining everything up correctly because it's just going to fit. My stencils are going to fit right on top. And each time I need to add another layer, maybe just a little bit of tweaking. You'll see that, I think the last layer, I kind of play around with a little bit. But you know that everything's going to line up because you're just putting it right on the same spot of the gel press each time. So it's a really good thing to use when you're inking things up and don't want your stencils to move around or your background paper. Starting off with this layer with Seedless Preserves. Again, this is an oxide. You can see that it's a little tricky to see because this stencil kind of mutes that Twisted Citron. But once I pull the layer off, you'll be able to see that the TriDots are not as visible where the Saltwater Taffy is. Did I say Seedless Preserves before? I don't think so. I think I said Saltwater Taffy. But you can see this is clearly not Seedless Preserves. We will be using that in a moment, though. I just picked a couple of fun colors. I tried a different combination. I thought that these were really pretty together, and that Twisted Citron makes it pop. Here is Broken China. This is a blue that I forget to use often. I used to use it all the time when the oxides first came out, and now with the addition of some other colors, I kind of forget to pull this one out, and I really need to use it more because it's a beautiful shade of blue. To apply my oxides, I don't really like using blending brushes for them. I prefer to use the mini ink blending tools with the foam pads. I just find that it works better. I don't gunk up my brushes, and I have a little sponge pad for each color. So now we have Seedless Preserves. Look at that. Oh, I do love this color. It's just so yummy. It really is. And I love preserves. Do you like to eat preserves? My favorites would be blackberry and raspberry. How about you? So you can see that this is really easy to apply the ink to. There's no fiddly bits. Everything lines up nicely, and you'll have this funky Eat Cake when we're done. But of course, we need to zhuzh it up. Well, we don't need to. I need to. You can stop after this layer if you want to, but I wanted to show you that you can kind of add a little bit of extra design to your card if you want to. You can totally stop here. I think that that's so fun. Those colors are great. And it's just really cute. But now I'm going to take a marker. This is a Zig Writer. These are still available. I've had this marker for a very, very long time. There's 2 tips on it. You can see that I grabbed the wrong one. That was the bullet. And now I have the tiny little nib. And I'm just going to doodle. I'm going to make some squiggles. I'm going to make some dots. I'm going to make some lines. Nothing crazy here. You do not need an art degree for this. You don't need to think too much for this. It's just kind of adding some extra to the words that we have here. And I just think it's fun and playful, just like the rest of the card. It adds a bit of whimsy to it. Not a whole lot of thought involved here. I just decided to go with some squiggles, some lines. You can see that those lines are not perfectly straight, and that's okay. I'm keeping everything on the left side of my letters, almost like a shadow. It's really not a shadow, but you get the idea. If it was going to be a shadow, that's kind of, I want it to all be on the same side. So I'm kind of adding dots here and there. This is just an Alison way of doodling. I'm not a very good doodler, but doing stuff like this, I enjoy doing. Just adding little bits of something here and there. You don't even need to worry about, like, if your ink is totally dry, whatever, you could just go right in and just start playing with that marker. I didn't use a heat tool or anything like that. I'm just playing with that zig. Use whatever you have. If you don't have a zig writer, you can use a Sharpie if you want to. I just happened to like the nib on this one, and I knew that it was nice and juicy, so it was going to work. If you have a micron pen, that would work too. If you have Posca pens, those are acrylic pens, or the new Altenew pens, the ones that I showed in a haul last month. You can use those. You can use their new acrylic pens, whatever. But it's just a way to kind of be playful and have a good time. And you can change up the colors to fit, whoever you're sending this to. But I think that this is a pretty gender-neutral card. I do. Even with the Saltwater Taffy, I think that it's pretty gender-neutral. How cute is that? Isn't that fun? I'm just adding a couple more lines here and there just to kind of, finish it off and complete the look. But I think that that's so fun. And again, you can stop here at this point. I wind up adding another sentiment, a little sub-sentiment, and you'll see that in a moment. But of course, now I've got to figure out my card base. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to add something else to it, what I want to do. And I decided to start by adding Saltwater Taffy to the top. And then as I'm doing this, obviously you're not in my brain, so you can't hear my thoughts, but I was thinking, well, I don't really think that I want to go all the way around with the Saltwater Taffy. I think I'm going to grab the other two colors and use those as well and just blend them together, and that would look really nice. It'll just kind of reiterate those colors that are already in the card. So now I'm going to grab the Seedless preserves and work that into the middle section, blending on top of the Saltwater Taffy a little bit. Again, I'm using those same mini ink blending tools, not making this perfect. You're not going to see a whole lot of this. So don't worry about, it's got to be blended perfectly, or I can't have any, you can kind of see the circular areas of the mini ink blending tools there. Don't worry about it. You're not going to see it, I promise. I'm finishing it off with the Broken China. I love the purple that Seedless preserves and Broken China make when they combine. They look so nice together. And I don't know what's happening with my glass mat here, but I could not get that oxide off of my mat. I think I need to clean my towel there. It's time to run it through the wash. I'm going to adhere the panel to the card base. At this point, I'm thinking that I'm done, but I'm not done. I'm using Barely Arts glue for that, and I'm going to just stick it on the card base and, think that it's finished, but it's not. I just needed a little something else. Just a little something. See, I'm holding it up thinking that I'm done, but then I'm like, keep going. So I have the tiny words from Simon Says stamp. I use this set a lot. I grabbed the Make-A-Wish and a little teeny tiny strip that I had in my stash, and Warm Breeze VersaFine Clair. I love this color. I use it often. You've probably seen me use it a bunch of times in my videos. And I'm just free stamping it onto that little strip, and then I'm going to cut it down and add it to the card front. Here I'm just trying to decide where exactly I want it, but I think that looking at it here, down at the bottom is really the best spot. I think it looks good there. Just going to chop that down with my Tonic and Tim Holtz Guillotine paper trimmer, and then we will add it to the card front. But it just needed a little something extra, right? That's just me. I mean, I actually thought about adding some sequins too, but I wanted to keep it nice and flat. I didn't want to have too much happening. I just wanted to show you some simple ways that you can add to a card without going completely over the top like I sometimes do. And that, my friends, is the card for today. I hope you like it. Oh, look at those colors. It's such a fun, happy card. Eat cake, make a wish. Happy birthday to you if it's your birthday. All right, everybody. That's it for me today. I hope you learned a couple of things. I will see you all very soon. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.